want to talk about is really a really controversial topic. The reason I'm cutting this video is because I felt that it was important to get this across, because when I found this information out for myself, I was pretty much shocked. You know what I mean? I couldn't even believe it on my own when I saw it, and I told a couple of friends of mine, and they were pretty shocked by the whole, what I had to tell them. What I want to talk about though is the father of Trayvon Martin, which is his name is Tracy Martin. I stumbled across his Facebook page, right? Just look up Tracy Martin, and when I stumbled across his page, I saw a couple things that were pretty disturbing to me. You know, I thought he was just a regular guy at first, and he probably is a regular guy. He looks like a real humble guy. He looks like a good person. He doesn't look like a bad person at all. You know, he looks like a real good person, a decent man. But I saw something that was pretty disturbing, and as you probably already see on the screen, yes, that's what I saw. I saw the first thing that caught my attention was a fan page that he had that said support the Freemasons, or support Freemasonry, or something like that. So that caught my attention, so I just started looking through his Facebook profile a little more and more, and I found a bunch of pictures that were pretty disturbing, and I started looking at the whole scenario a little bit different ever since I saw all the pictures he had on his Facebook. Don't get me wrong, you know, Trayvon was killed, and that wasn't anything good. There's nothing good about him being dead, you know. May he rest in peace, and you know, I do wish his family the best, and I hope they get through this hard situation in peace, and they're comforted. I know it's not easy to lose someone you love and someone close to you, but I think it's bigger than just Trayvon and George Zimmerman. And you see, as I was going through Trayvon's father's Facebook profile, I saw a few pictures that I found rather disturbing. I really don't think race had anything to do with this. I think it's bigger than race. I'm really convinced it was not a racist issue here. But let me just stop talking for a second, and let me just go through the pictures really quick so you can know what I'm talking about. If you're familiar with this, you know what that is. That's Freemasonry. I mean, you should already probably know by now what that is, but that is one of the most powerful societies on the face of the earth right now. The Freemason organization, the Freemason order, is one of the most powerful orders on the face of the earth. Pretty much every president, if not every president, has been a part of this society, a part of this organization. You know, just about every president has been a part of the Freemasons. You have to have some kind of pull to even be involved with them. You can't just be any regular Joe in it. You know, you have to get referred by somebody else. I mean, yeah, you can be a regular Joe, but you have to know somebody in. When you get in, you have all these crazy connections that you never had before. You have a lot of pull. You have a lot of rank. You know a lot of people. You know the right people, right? Then you got, you know, here you see in the background the Freemason symbol, and you see on his glove, he has the Freemason symbol. You see right here, he's all masoned out to the brim. You look at the apron, the Freemason apron, the Masonic apron he has. Then you have, you know, all his Mason brothers here. And, you know, I mean, it's all over the place, man. You know, you see right here, another Freemason apron. Everybody in his circle, all his friends, all his close friends are Freemasons. Everybody, you know, he's affiliated with is a Mason. Look at this. Look at the shirts. The shirts. Look at their shirts right there. The guy's hat. He has a Masonic hat on. If I'm not mistaken, there's a Masonic ring. If I'm not mistaken, everybody has well, not everybody, but a few of them have the Masonic hat on. And right here again, the Masonic hats. You know, the Masonic hats. And I want you to notice something in this picture. You see the Mason symbol on his hat, but it says Fort Lauderdale, right? Fort Lauderdale is in South Florida. Right now, you see, oh, this one says Miami. So this is all South Florida, the Broward and Dade County area. I didn't even notice the Miami one. So I believe that says Pompano Beach all the way to the left. So they're pretty much all over South Florida. They're connected. And you see here, look at his shirt. He's covering his mouth. He's covering one side of the shirt, but the only side of the shirt he's not covering is the Masonic symbol on his left side. I mean, they're pretty serious about this, but this is my favorite picture right here. This is my favorite picture right here. And I want you to notice, it says Fort Lauderdale, South Florida again. Look what is on her hat. Whatever you want to call that. Look what is on her hat. That is an inverted pentagram. That is a satanic star. That is a satanic star. I repeat, that is a satanic star. Now, why would you have a satanic star on your hat? Why would you? I don't know. That just really blew my mind the first time I saw it. I couldn't even believe it. So, it's there. For those of you who don't know what a satanic star looks like, which you probably do know, I mean, you're looking at it right in front of your eyes. It's this, an inverted pentagram. That's really what the satanic star is. So, the reason I'm showing these pictures, I'm not just showing it, just for fun. I'm showing it for a reason. There's something bigger than this that's beyond race, okay? It's not about race anymore. I don't even think it ever was about race. From the second Zimmerman killed him, I think what Zimmerman did, he just followed a man walking around who was into the hip-hop culture, who dressed like someone who was a part of the hip-hop scene, and who listened to hip-hop music. And whether you're Hispanic, black, or white, mostly everybody does it. But let's be real. Most white folks, and I'm Hispanic by the way, but most whites, they don't really, even though they dress apart, you do see whites. I mean, you've seen some gooned out white people. I've seen them. They're all tatted up. They have gold teeth. They look like goons. They look like thugs. You know what I mean? But you can see it in them. You can see it in them when you look at them. But a lot of white people that try to fit into the hip hop culture, you can tell they're not thugs. They don't look intimidating. They don't look like real thugs. Some do, but a lot of them don't. Let's be real. I'm trying to get a point across. That's why I bring that up. But then you see blacks and you see Hispanics, and they look more like thugs. And keep in mind, I'm Hispanic. But just because you look like a thug, because you dress like a thug, because you got dreads, you got golds in your mouth, you have, you're all tatted up. Just because you look like a thug does not mean you are a thug. But a lot of Hispanics and blacks just have more of a thug image than most white folks do. It's not to say anything bad about any race. That's just how it is. You could see a group of white kids trying to dress all into, like, if they're into the hip-hop culture, and they don't look as intimidating as a group of Hispanics or a group of black folks dressed up as, and as people a part of the hip-hop culture with dreads and goes in the mouth and all tatted up, So I think Zimmerman killed him. Why? He probably looked like a thug to him. Zimmerman probably lived in a white neighborhood, a white suburban neighborhood, a middle-class neighborhood. And he saw this random black man who wasn't from around there. He's never seen him before, and he looked like a thug to him because he was dressed up, as someone who listens to hip-hop music. So, by him seeing that in that neighborhood that he lived in, probably not a lot of people dressed like that, whether black or Hispanic or even white. A lot of people in that neighborhood are probably white people and white kids who just live around there, and he's not used to seeing a thug-looking person in that neighborhood, which is fine, but I don't think it was a racial thing. I think whatever race it was, if he looked intimidating to him, he probably intimidated him. That's probably why he approached him. And whatever race it was, he probably would have approached him. I don't think it was because he's black. I'm sure Zimmerman has black friends. He lives in Orlando. Orlando is full of black people. There's a lot of black people in Orlando. So I'm sure he has a few black friends over there. So I don't think it was a racial issue. And but don't get me wrong. What he did was wrong. He called the police, and he asked them if he could approach, and the police told him no. They told him to stand down, and he approached anyways. That was wrong on his part. But I think that if it was a racial thing and Zimmerman just wanted to kill him, just to kill him, I don't think he would have called the police first. I think he would have, the last thing he would have wanted to do was call the police. I think he would have just killed him just because he was black, and that's it, not called the cops. And he would have never got caught. I don't see why anybody in their right state of mind would call the cops before killing somebody just because they're black. So, and I don't blame Trayvon. I don't blame him at all. Why? Because if I'm walking around, if I see some random person following me around, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna tell him, hey, why are you following me? What's wrong with you? Why are you following me? For all I know, Zimmerman probably responded. Who knows what he said in response? And Trayvon probably, went up to him, approached him, and knocked him out for following him, like anybody would do, like I would do, like anybody in the right state of mind would do. He saw him, he approached him, and he just hit him. And they got into a fight. They just started fighting, and one thing led to another, and he pulled out the gun and shot him and killed him. But I don't think it was racial. I think it was just because he looked suspicious, not because of his skin color, but because the image he was portraying. He was into the hip hop culture, obviously. Whether you're black or white or Hispanic, you're into that culture. But he just is one of the kind that probably looked intimidating to him. Personally, I saw his pictures. He does not look intimidating to me. He looks like a nice black kid. He doesn't look like he's like a goon. He does not look like a goon. He looks like a nice kid. He looks like a good kid. Maybe he committed a couple crimes in his past, but who hasn't, And I think everybody's committed a couple crimes in the past. So, but my point of saying all this, I noticed I spoke a lot. But it's really because I don't want to offend anybody in this, because I know we all have different opinions, and I know a lot of people will be offended by this video. But the reason I'm saying this is because Trayvon's father is a Freemason. And by him being a Freemason, he has pull. He knows a lot of people. He knows the right kind of people. That's why he was able to get the publicity he got. I don't think he would have got this kind of publicity if Trayvon was just a regular black kid in the hood, and his father was just, a nobody. He was just a construction worker. He wasn't a Freemason. I really, really, really find it hard to believe that Trayvon would have got this kind of publicity if his father was not a Freemason. He knows the right people. He knows people, he has connections. I really doubt he would have got this kind of publicity if not for him being a Freemason. So I really don't think it's racial. I think that's what it's all about. Now, it's about who you know. It's not about your skin color. And I don't think Zimmerman was taken to jail. Why? Not because he's white, because honestly, he's not fully white. I mean, Zimmerman, that sounds like a Jewish name to me. So probably his dad was a white man or a Jewish man. And probably on his mom's side, he was Hispanic. Because the Hispanic name would be Perez Rodriguez, not Zimmerman. That's not Hispanic. So Zimmerman was probably, probably from the father's side of the family, which is his dad. I think his name was Robert Zimmerman, if I'm not mistaken. And he was a judge. He's a retired judge. So the reason Zimmerman isn't going to jail is not because he's white. Well, he's not even fully white. He's half white on his dad's side. But it's not because he's white or because he's Hispanic or because even if he was black, it doesn't matter. But the reason he didn't go to jail is because his father is a retired judge. His father was a judge. So whether you're black or white, he had pull. He knew the right people as well. He had money. If you're a judge, you have money. You have pull, and you probably know a lot of right, people that you should know. You know the right people. You got the right connections. So here we got two people who have the right connections. One is the father of one is a Mason. The other one, his father, is a retired judge, which, by the way, is probably a Mason as well. Because if you're a judge, you probably are a Mason as well. I mean, I'm sure there are judges out there that are not Masons, but I think a lot of them are Masons. Because not everybody can just become a judge. So a lot of judges are Masons. I wouldn't doubt it. It wouldn't surprise me if Zimmerman's father was a Mason as well. Who knows what's happening behind the scenes, but it's much bigger than race. It's not about race. They don't care about race. They don't care about race. It's about who you know. So the only reason Trayvon got that publicity is because his father. Otherwise, he'd just be another dead black man, and nobody would give a damn about him. And Zimmerman, it'd just be another spick to them. Another spick, and would be in jail by now, you know, if not for his father. So, like I said, it's not race. I don't think it is. It's about who you know. The reason this got so big, I think, is because, look at this. Pictures speak for himself, man. They're Masons. He's a Freemason. He knows a lot of people. He knows the right people. So, and again, you know, I don't think his father is a bad man. He doesn't look like a bad man. I think the people in power of Freemasonry, the people at the top are the wicked ones, you know. But people that are just regular folks like you and I don't think they're bad people. I think he's just a regular person who joined the organization, you know. Who knows? I might be wrong, I might be right, but he doesn't look like a bad person. He looks like a decent man, a hard worker. He doesn't look like he's into anything crazy. He just looks like a decent man, but he's a part of the Freemason order, and he knows people. That's why it got the publicity it did. Zimmerman, his father was probably a Freemason as well. That's probably why he also got that publicity he got. So, again, it's nothing racial. You know, I think he was wrong for even killing him in the first place, don't get me wrong. But then again, I ask, why is not anybody making a big deal out of this rapper named Slim Duncan? Slim Duncan rapped with Waka Flocka. He was a part of Brick Squad. He was about to blow up. Why is anybody not making a big deal about Slim Duncan? When he got killed, he was killed because he didn't want to give a piece of his candy to somebody in the studio. That's the story I heard. Is that a true story? I don't know. That's the story I heard. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you know who rapper Slim Duncan is, he was killed just a couple months ago, I think about 2 months ago. He was killed because he didn't want to share his candy with another black man. Mind you, these are two black men. So one black man killed the other, and over a piece of candy, because he didn't want to share his candy with him. So he killed the other black man. And there's, I think there's like 20-something people in the studio. That's what I heard on the news. But there's about, you know, well over 20 people in the studio. So obviously there were witnesses, yet nobody saw anything, which is cool. That's the code of the street. That's how it is in the street. You don't say anything. You saw something, you don't say anything. But nobody's making a big deal of that. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are coming out making speeches about that. Nobody's making a big deal about it. And yet he was killed because he didn't want to share a piece of candy. So, I mean, yeah, it wasn't racial or anything, but whatever, you know, just my opinion. You know, comment below, like the video, share it on Facebook or on Twitter, and let me know what you think.